Okay, Andrew here, and and welcome to the live stream. And I'm just going to make sure it's going properly. So lose fat after 40. I'm just making sure that we're live, and we are. Sorry, I've got to wait for the few second delay that it seems to have. So welcome for our third lose fat after 40 live stream. So let's in the first two, I told my story, so obviously you don't need to hear that again. But if you're here for the first time, just go back and look at the last live stream. But long story short, I've struggled with the weight all my life. And, as a youngster, I was an athlete, up until my probably early to mid 30s. Slowly started to put weight on because of the standard Australian or standard Western diet, and gradually put it on through the years until sort of late 40s. I stacked it on and got up to 106 kilos, which is 230 pounds for 6 foot tall, or just under. That got to a point where I said no more, and I went on a different diet and exercise, although I was never a gym junkie or anything like that, which brought it back a little bit. But it wasn't until I really worked out that insulin is the key, which was a fairly recent thing, that it's allowed me to actually pretty much lose weight on demand. It's just a battle with yourself to stay strict and make sure that you track. And well, not so much track, I guess, more understand that when you spike insulin, you can't burn fat. All right. And obviously your body burns two fuels, fat and sugar. All right. And you want to be burning fat to use the store in your pantry, the fat stores that you've got in places you probably don't want them. So that was the key. And today what we might do is someone submitted the diet plan for me to give a what I call a roast, a diet roast. Now Sue is a 43-year-old female, and she has a corporate job that works fairly long hours. She says here from 8 to about 6 at night, with a 30 to 45 minute commute. So that is a pretty long day. So you're out the door at 7:30, something, or 7:15, say, and you're back home at, say, 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So I understand that, because when I was an engineer, I was out the door at basically 6, with an hour commute to start at 7, and I'd leave at 6 at night to miss the traffic and get home at 7 at night. So yeah, long days. So that was a 13-hour day every day for me, at least 5-6 days a week. And just quietly, that's probably why I decided to learn how to earn online, so I didn't have to do that forever. Because at the start, when you were on big projects with big earthworks stuff, it was fun and exciting, but it became a chore very quickly, and the long hours just felt like I was existing, working 5-6 days a week. But that aside, let's get back into this roast. So what we look at is timing and diet. All right, so what you eat and when you eat it. So says here that she's got some stubborn weight that she, no matter what she tries, she can't lose. And she explains it as a muffin top, which is a bit of a belly hanging over the jeans, and some big thighs. So your big legs and bums, basically there, that she cannot get rid of no matter what she tries. And that's so common throughout the world, really. So let's look at the diet. She says at 7 to 7:30 she has a coffee and milk in a travel mug and a couple of bits of toast with margarine and jam on it in the morning. It says in the car. So obviously while she's driving to work. So let's look at the coffee and milk. Now it doesn't say if she has sugar. Let's say that she doesn't. All right. Let's just say it's coffee and milk only. Milk will spike insulin. And the toast with margarine, don't get me started on margarine. Margarine is basically refined motor oil. It's not good for you. It causes inflammation in all your joints, and it sits in your body for, I think there's a half-life of over a year. So whenever you have margarine, although it tastes nice because they make it so, not good. You're better off getting real butter. All right, that is basically churned cow's milk, right, with nothing else. Maybe salt. Salted butter is what I have, which is a way better option. And jam, well, that's just a sugar dose, isn't it? So 7 o'clock in the morning, you are spiking your insulin severely, and that just switches off fat burning first thing in the morning. So get to work, start at about 8, and shortly thereafter have another coffee and milk. And obviously it just tops up your insulin with the milk there. Black coffee is fine, guys. If you are having a black coffee, that won't spike insulin, although it does get your heart pumping a bit, which sometimes people need that. So you've topped up your insulin at 8. At 10, she says, sometimes another coffee. All right, another top up. Lunch, somewhere between 12 and 2. She catches a lunch on the fly. Now, I understand that because I used to do the same. Which is usually a salad sandwich or roll from the local deli. Now, depending whether she gets whole wheat or white bread, there's a slight difference, but not much. It's still a dose. With bread, you might as well be eating spoonfuls of sugar. Okay. Doesn't say what she drinks there, but let's just say she has a soft drink or a Coke. Doesn't say here, but let's, for example, say that a can of Coke has got the equivalent of 20-something teaspoons of sugar in it. Very horrid stuff. And if you want to do the read up, there's a blog post on my website, on my blog, andrewtwelftree.com. And if she has a Diet Coke, all right, that's probably worse because it still gets an insulin response, but it's got the artificial sweeteners in it, which are extremely addictive. And I was addicted to Diet Coke for too long. I drink more of that than water, but not these days. I don't drink soft drinks at all because I understand how bad they are for you. So let's look at that. Salad sandwich, maybe she has mayo, and that's going to spike the insulin, and depends on what salad she has. A lot of that has carbs, a lot of the veggies like the carrots and the cabbage isn't too bad, but lettuce and things like that's not too bad, I guess. But it's more the bread that it's wrapped in will spike your insulin. And she says, for my mid-afternoon crash, after having a sugar dose for lunch, she has coffee and a couple of biscuits to dip in there. Now, the milk, obviously, top up of insulin, and the biscuits, you might as well just eat sugar. Okay, and dipping it in the coffee. So then, home, 6 to 7 p.m., depends on the day, has dinner. And she said it varies, chicken and salad, fish salad. Then she might have steak and veggies or sausages and veggies. Now, let's look into that. Steak, brilliant, okay. Ribeye, something like that. A fatty steak is always good, but when you combine it with veggies, all right, some veggies are good. Example, broccoli, cauliflower are pretty good. But you've got beans, carrots, pumpkin, potato have all got carbs in them. All right, which carbs turns into sugar inside your body within 10 minutes. Or not sugar, but glucose, which basically, if there's elevated levels of insulin in your body, any excess glucose will be stored as fat. Okay, so if you're eating carbs and you're eating a fatty steak as well as, all the carbs, you're probably going to have glucose that will be stored as fat. So every day you refill the pantry. Let's look at chicken and fish. Great. Salad depends if you have anything with carbs in it, and or dressing on top. And if you just have drizzle it with olive oil, not too bad. But if you have anything, ranch dressing or anything like that, it's packed with sugar. So, and the other one she mentioned was sausages. Now, being on the carnivore diet myself, which is the proper human diet, sausages are packed with carbs as fillers. All right. So although it is meat, it is processed meat. There are varying degrees of sausages being processed, but let's just say it's the standard ones you get from the shopping hardware store, the shopping centre. They are packed with, for want of better words, sawdust. They pack it with stuff just to fill it, so they don't have to put as much meat into it, and they spike insulin as well. And then sometimes she has a hot chocolate before bed to help her go to sleep. Now, depends, that one. If it's straight cocoa in a hot water mixed in, not too bad. But if you have any milk in it, obviously then it's going to top up your insulin. So let's assume, because she has coffee and milk, let's assume she puts milk in it. And if she puts sugar in it, well, that's just silly, isn't it? So let's look at the diet. So from 7 in the morning through till 10 at night, she's basically topping up her insulin all day. So in the morning, spikes it with the jam and the bread, coffee, sandwich, bread for lunch, coffee, all right? And then comes home for dinner, spikes it again. Some meals are better than others, but still spikes insulin again. Come back, and then 10 o'clock at night spikes insulin. So all day, basically, you cannot burn fat because you've got elevated levels of insulin in your body. So timing wise, say she goes from 10 at night through to 7 in the morning is 9 hours. 9 hours of fasting, which is enough time for the insulin, to digest the food, all right, and digest your hot chocolate late at night, and start to work on some of the glucose in your system. So with 9 hours, really, you're not getting to a point where you are reaching fat burning, and nowhere near getting to a point where you reach autophagy. So let's just do this. Fasting, after about 12 hours of no food, no coffee, no milk, nothing, basically water or black coffee, you are starting, depending on your history, if you just have carbs every day, the Western diet, like this one that we've just read out, you're going to take a little bit longer to get back into fat burning. So my general rule is you'd need to try and cut out the carbs and sugar, and a day or 2 or 3 later, you're starting to get into your body starting to adapt back into fat burning as well as glucose. Because if you have, top up your insulin at all during the day, you have to then get rid of the glucose in your bloodstream with insulin, which stops fat burning. Okay, because insulin is the way to reduce your blood glucose and force it into your cells to create energy for yourself. So, getting off track here a little bit. So after about 12 hours, if you've got a fairly good diet, i.e. low carb, no sugar, low sugar, preferably no sugar, no carbs, you're starting to get into fat burning. And after, say, 15, 16 hours to 18 hours, you are hitting what's called autophagy. Now, that's where your body has used up all its glucose stores. It's using fat for energy, but it also goes, okay, we might need to use some other stuff for, say, protein to rebuild. So what your body does, it's so smart, goes off in your body and looks for defective proteins and unwanted cells to break down and reuse. Now, that is a good thing because that's your viruses, your cancers, things like that. It goes off and grabs some of that, breaks it down, okay, and uses it to reconstruct healthy cells in your body, muscle, all that kind of stuff. So, if I ever got diagnosed with the big C or anything like it, the first thing I would do would be stop eating. Full stop. I would go on a long fast. I'd make sure I'd have my electrolytes and my bicarb to keep the pH of my body non-acidic. Okay, and get to a point where I'm in autophagy 24 hours a day, which will, and there's been documented cases of people that have done that have had tumours reduce in size and or go away fully. All right. Now, you don't have to stop eating forever, but, the first thing I do is go and have a 3 or 4 day fast. Now, that might be scary to some, but I've done it before. It is not that difficult. The first day or so, you might be having a few hangry pains. But after that, you just have, sit down, have a drink of water, do something other than thinking about it. And the feeling goes away and you don't feel hungry for an hours more, and then it might come back for a little bit, just having some more water. But really, it does get your body into a reset mode. It gives your immune system a bit of a reboot as well. And you'll drop some kilos doing it as well. So the easier way to do that is to do what's called intermittent fasting, where you stop eating. I have my last meal for the day somewhere around, if I can have it earlier in the day, I do, like around 3 to 4, but generally I try and stop eating by 4, sometimes 5 p.m, so that after that all I have is water, if I want anything at all. So by the time I go to sleep and get up in the morning, say 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I've already fasted for 14 hours, 15 hours. And I don't go off straight off and eat. I mean, it's nearly 8:30 in the morning here. I'm up a bit earlier today doing the live stream, but I haven't. All I've had is some bicarb soda in water, which helps with my pH, and some water. That's about it for today. Now, I probably won't eat until lunchtime. All right, because I'm pushing it out a little bit. So, 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Now, let's just say I did stop eating at 5 last night. So it's 7 hours to midnight. And say I go to, say, 1 o'clock today. Okay, so that's another 7 hours. Is that right? 5 to 12 is 7 plus, no, 12, 13 hours. So that's a full 20 hours. If I go to 1 o'clock today, that's 20 hours I haven't eaten for. So after about 12 hours, even though, I don't have sugar or carbs, so my blood sugar would have been low anyway. So I would have reached fat burning somewhere before I've gone to bed. Okay, because I stopped eating at 5. So I'd be in fat burning mode as overnight. And if I toss a turn, well, that's burning energy, isn't it? So, yeah, I've been fat burning, and for every hour longer you go fasting, you actually burn more fat for energy. Now, I haven't this morning, but most of the time, even though I've got a knee injury, I do go for a walk, which is I can't straighten my knee properly, so it's a bit of a hobble walk, um, to burn some more energy and get some sunlight on me in the morning. So I actually walk on the lawn barefoot, which is slightly uneven because of the grass we've got. It gets tufts and stuff. So it makes your leg muscles search for balance, if you know what I mean. So it's not as simple as walking on a flat concrete surface. You're walking on uneven, so you're always trying to use all your leg and glutes and so forth, and a bit of your core to actually balance and walk. And sometimes I walk forwards to one end of the yard and backwards back to the other start, which walking backwards is even better for your leg muscles and strength. So do that, get some sun on you in the morning. I do it, without a shirt on, to get your vitamin D in. All right, because one of the only things I even contemplate supplementing would be iodine, vitamin D, and maybe some kimchi or something like that for some biomes for your stomach, or you could get a good probiotic. And there's one other one, I can't think of it at the moment, but I have my bicarb, my electrolytes as well. So for Sue to turn this around, I got off on track there on fasting, but basically the longer you can go without eating every day, the better, because I would have been in autophagy coming up to 20 hours. I would have been in autophagy for probably 6 to 8 hours of that. So I am processing unwanted cells in my body. So if I did start to get a cancer, I would hope that because I do this not every day, but most days, that it would be eaten up before it even got a foothold. So there we go. Now back to Sue. Let's go back to her diet. If she wants to lose the muffin top and thunder thighs, I call it thunder thighs. Sorry. So big thighs. You need to change your diet. Okay. 7:30 in the morning, instead of having coffee, milk and toast with margarine and jam, I would lose the bread entirely. All right. And margarine, seed oils, not good. And jam, you might as well just stuff sugar in your mouth. Have a black coffee in your travel mug. Now, might take a moment to get used to, but it can be done. I've done it. I don't have milk in my coffee anymore. And in fact, I don't have that many coffees. So have a black coffee if you need a kickstart. Same again at, in the morning, 8 o'clock, have a black coffee. Just lose the milk in your coffee. And that, if you did that from 7:30 to 10, that'll get you all the way through to lunch without spiking your insulin. Okay, if you just lose the toast and jam, lose the milk in the coffee, just have black coffee. Now, lunch, sandwich or something from your local deli, it's the bread that gets you. So, what I do for lunch is I have some patties. All right, we just get mince, put salt in it, maybe an egg to hold it together a bit, mix it all up, and just make patties out of it, minced beef. All right, I'd have 2 or 3 of them. All right, probably 2. I put a fair whack of pink salt on top, because that's me. Your body needs salt, by the way. Don't believe everything that the medical profession tells you. Just on a side note, a quick story on that one. If you ever had a heart attack, all right, and the ambos come, what's the first thing they give you? It's an IV full of salt. It's a salt drip. And the salt that they give you is probably 10, 20 times more than the recommended dose of salt during the day. Your body needs salt. So don't be shy on putting salt on your food. I use the pink Himalayan salt, and sometimes I use Celtic salt to put in my electrolytes. It's empty at the morning, but I have magnesium, potassium, bicarb, and sometimes I drop some salt in there as well. Now, I've done a video on the electrolytes and a blog post, so if you want to know the formula, just look up that and it'll be there. So if Sue, again back to Sue, if you had some kind of carnivore lunch, now whether it's, and it seems like you want to do it on the fly, so patties would be a good option. And if that's too much, you could almost put a little scrape of natural butter, salted proper butter with the ingredients, milk, fat and salt. None of this margarine. You could probably put a little bit of that on top just for taste. Find some other carnivore kind of diet. So, whether it's leftover steak or chopped up meat or something like that for lunch. Mid-afternoon, just go back on the black coffee. I'd lose the biscuits though. And there are plenty of carnivore treats you could have in the afternoon, because obviously if you've broken your fast at lunch, you can eat in the afternoon, just not to excess. And 6 p.m. dinner. The other one is for lunch, you could have boiled eggs. That's carnivore. No carbs, protein, and some healthy fats. So boiled eggs could be good for lunch. And at dinner, chicken, salad, steak, any meat would be perfect, with a couple of eggs and maybe a little bit of butter on top for flavour and salt. Lose the veggies, because obviously potato, beans, pumpkin, stuff like that has carbs in it. All right, and you spike your insulin. So, and your hot chocolate, you're probably better off not having it, but if you do need to have it, don't have it with milk, just have it with cocoa alone, and that's not too bad. But say you did for a period of time, if you're serious about getting rid of the muffin top, say you have dinner at say 6 to 7 p.m, you stop eating at 7, you have black coffee up until lunchtime the next day. So 7 is 5, say you have lunch at 12, so that's 17 hours of fasting. If you stretch it to 1 o'clock, that's 18 hours of fasting. That's pretty good. You'll see some changes with that, and it's not changing too much. Lose the toast, lose the milk and the coffee, drop the biscuits, and a slight change to the diet, and I think you'll find that you will start to lose your muffin top, and with a bit of exercise mixed in. Now, exercise isn't the key. You don't have to, but walking, if you can, walk around rather than drive. Cycling is good. I do more cycling. I've got my 10-speed bike on an A-frame, so I can kind of watch TV if I want to, because the roads where I live are not concrete, so very rough, and even when you get out on the main roads, it's fairly dangerous where I live, because trucks just don't care. They'll run you over. So I do that, and swimming is another one if you've got some poor joints. Our pool's empty at the moment. We need to fix the filter properly before we fill it up again. But yeah, I used to swim for 30 to 45 minutes, which is always good. So there you go, Sue. The key, drop certain things in your diet, and extend the time that you don't eat, your fasting time. And obviously there'll be a learning curve with that. So if you start making a few changes, get used to that and work more into there. Obviously the diet is the hardest one to get your head around, but it's also probably the easiest. The hardest part is your mindset, you'll battle with yourself. And the key for that also is, if you aren't doing it by yourself, you have a community or someone else that your running mate that you're doing it with, because too easy is it to just, I'll have that cupcake because I'm out with friends that we're at the coffee shop. I'll have a cappuccino with and I'll have that chocolate muffin with it, you know. And basically that spikes your insulin and starts storing that muffin because there's so much sugar in it. It's more than your daily requirement. As soon as you eat a muffin, all right, some of that is going onto the stores, which is your muffin top and your thighs. Okay, it's too easy to cheat, and you just go to yourself, "Oh, that's all right. I'll get back on the wagon tomorrow." But because you've spiked your insulin so high, it's going to take you 2 to 3 days to get right back into fat burning mode. So one muffin can stuff it for 2 or 3 days. All right, and knowing that, one cheat day turns into two, turns into three. 2 weeks goes by, and next it's June, if you know what I mean. So if you've got a running mate, you're more likely to look at the muffin and go, God, that'd taste good. You probably get an insulin response just looking at it. And then just go, all right, no, I'll just have my black coffee and chat and have fun as if, with all your friends without having the muffin. Now, the beautiful part of that is I've set up in the throes of setting up a community called the 51 Day Challenge. And for the first 50 people, it's going to be absolutely free. We'll run a live Zoom. In fact, in about 30 minutes, I'm going to have a Zoom. So if you want to jump on that, feel free. And we can answer your questions live and go from there. So I'm not sure why. Just click here. Why is the chat not connected? I'll do a little test on that after. But yeah. So, if you feel inclined, go down below. There'll be a link to the 51 Day Challenge. You just have to put your name and email in, and you'll be redirected via a welcome page to the information you'll need to help you change your diet and timing and exercise, and it gives you a few little tips. In fact, we've got a little secret weapon. We have found a natural extract which helps your stomach go into like a thermogenic response so that it immediately starts burning visceral fat, which is very helpful when you're trying to lose weight. So that works brilliantly. I mean, some people actually lose weight doing that alone without changing their diet, but if you change your diet as well, it makes it like it's swimming downstream rather than upstream to lose weight. So on that, obviously pop over and check out the 51 Day Challenge, completely free. And you can get the information and not even jump on Zooms and things. It's up to you. So, but if you do want to reach out and tap into my knowledge, and you'll get personal contact early on until this thing blows up. So from there, I hope to see you on the inside. So what we'll do is today we'll call it a wrap, and we'll go from there. Catch you later. I'll try. Let's just see if that chat comes through. I'm just doing a little test here, guys. Waiting for the delay. All right, that's me just typing it in there. Why is that not coming through? that not coming through? Well, that's really, oh no, it's gone on the other one. But, oh, okay, I know why. All right. Well, I'll cut the end of this off after. Let's go to this one, say, YouTube. No, it might not be that one. Let's go to that one then. Gmail. And let's go to YouTube. There we go. Lose fat after 40. There we are. Alright, so that went in. Did it come through here? Why is that disconnected? Okay, for some reason it's not coming through in studio, but it is coming through on the other one. Alright, so next time basically I've got to do that. Alright, sorry for the last 5 minutes guys, I've been running a test, so I will chop that off once it renders. So until next week, be awesome. If you're around, feel free to jump on the Zoom call in 20 minutes. The link will, once you actually register for the 51-day challenge, the link will be in there. So everyone be awesome, and I'll catch you on the live stream next week.